friends, it's Melissa from White Castle with Books, and I thought today that I would just show you guys the bullet journal that I started. I've never bullet journaled officially before, but I have basically for my entire life, as long as I can remember. I've always kept notebooks that I just wrote things down in. They've always been really scatterbrained though, and so I would come in and I would find book ideas, or I would find quotes, or I would find a list of things to do for the next day, and it was just very scatterbrained. So I was excited when I discovered bullet journaling because it gave me more of a template to use for some of the things that I was already doing. And but at the same time, I was also really overwhelmed because anybody that's familiar with bullet journaling knows that some of the people out there that do it very seriously have absolutely beautiful journals that look incredible with beautiful lettering, and that's just not something I'm very comfortable with. I'm not really skilled at any of that. I've never really practiced a lot of that stuff. So my bullet journal is not beautiful and perfect and gorgeous. It's just more practical and realistic for what I want to keep track of and for my goals and stuff. So without further ado, this is what it looks like on the inside. So the first page that has anything on it in my bullet journal just says 2018, obviously. I didn't really want to spend a lot of time embellishing this or doing anything crazy with it, so simple 2018. The next page is just the index, and I did a couple of pages of index, which I did pretty simply. I love this specific journal. It took me a while to find one because I actually really enjoy having the grid in there. I couldn't find one that just had the dots, and I wasn't able to order one online, so I stuck with this one, but it was pretty cheap and I'm quite happy with it. Once again, just index pages, an index page, and then this is my keys page. Just shows different symbols that I use to keep track of what events and tasks and appointments that I have so that I don't confuse things. I don't know that that's really necessary, but a lot of people use that in their bullet journals, and I liked the idea. Also, I have a couple of ideas down here. One thing I found really helpful as I started my bullet journal was that I would go through and do everything in pencil. I have pencil pages all the way through. This helped me to not ink in a page too early and then discover that that wasn't where I wanted that specific page to be. I did end up ripping a few pages out. Of course, I think everybody has that. Moving on, I have 2018 goals, and I actually have not had much of a chance to finish up this page. You can see just a few. I've got lots of space for goals, but what I was trying to do was keep only a few goals per category so I didn't overwhelm myself. The next page, I'm planning on writing my mission statement in and my success plan, which I have not completed either of those. I've written a lot of drafts, but I want to write something a little bit more concrete in here that I'm really happy with. Following those pages, I have my books to read page. I had seen an idea on Pinterest that showed just drawing some simple bookshelves. I really liked that idea. I thought it looked really fun. So I've actually color coded it, and I started out by writing down the books that I have already read this month, and then I was coloring them in by color categorizing each month of the year. And then I realized that I didn't want to do that in order because then it would just be really blockish, and I wanted my books to be multicolored and scattered out. So these ones will be blockish, but as I read books, I'm just going to write them in randomly and color them in. So when I have finished all of the books for February, I will just write them in random places and then color them red. So I just thought that was a fun way to keep track of the books that I've read this year. This page is for book quotes. I haven't had any in here yet. I had actually started another journal for that, and then I decided to just have a page for the year, and then I will probably have another page at the end of each month section. So I haven't written anything in here, like I said, but I like the idea of just having blank pages to write some notes down in. This is going to be another set of bookshelves for books to buy. Right now, I'm trying not to overbuy books because we have a lot of books in storage, and we also have a lot of books in our little castle, and it takes up a lot of space, which I'm totally fine with, but I've actually already read, I listened to Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, so I'm just gonna wait to buy it for a little while until I feel like we have space to buy books that I've already read. Here are my YouTube goals. I don't really want to linger on this page a lot, but basically I'm just keeping track of the uploads that I do, and I have goals for uploads and comments and subscribers. This is just to help me kind of keep track of what I'm doing. It helps me to focus in. I get really scatterbrained with stuff like this, so I enjoy making goals and writing them down. So following the page of this, the previous page was YouTube video uploads, and then this is a comments goal to just keep track of how many comments that I make. I feel like for me, I want to make comments, but I have to train myself to take the time to sit down and to interact, just because there's a lot on my plate right now. So I do enjoy it, but it helps me to write things down just to keep track of what I'm doing. And there are actually 4 pages of that because of the way that I laid it out. This next page is just subscribers, and all I'm going to do with this is just keep track of where I'm at throughout the year. I would love to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this year, but I have no idea if that's a really lofty goal. And so I'm just going to kind of wait and see how it goes. I'm not going to beat myself up at all if I don't reach that goal, but I kind of thought it would be fun to watch the chart and see where I progress with that. This next page is starting in my writing goals. This is just a basic word count. So I've laid out the months of the year, and they're basically just colored for the fun of it, just the aesthetics. There's nothing to the coloring on this page, but I'm going to write down the word count for each month. And I have written this year, but I wasn't doing this yet. This is a really recent thing, and so I don't remember exactly when or how many words I wrote. So basically I'm just going to start now as I have kind of laid this out. The next page, it's really hard to read. It says typical work week, which I'm just going to lay out when I decide to record a video, and then when I decide to edit and upload that video, as well as how many words to write each day, and a word count goal for each week, and other goals pertaining to my writing and my YouTube channel. I just haven't gotten to that page yet. Like I said, I really love laying things out like this so that I can assign pages, but I don't have it inked in yet. I can make changes if I feel the need. So this is another really common page I've seen. It's 2018 at a glance. This is going to be where I keep track of really, really important events. I plan on color coding that. So say I have a birthday in February that I want to remember, February 28th, I might color that blue and then put down birthday, and then I will know that blue is for the birthday and I can write the person's birthday. But I will do that for other events. I just haven't finished filling it out yet. And once again, the coloring is just for aesthetics. I just want it to be pretty. After that, I have another page that I only saw a couple of times, but I thought was really cool because I've had a different journal where I did this. And it's just basically a mood tracker. I haven't put anything in yet, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write down what each color basically represents in mood. There are very basic representations, like red is often associated with passion or with confidence, and so I'm going to color in a red splotch and then put some basic moods that go along with that color. And then for each day of the year, I will just fill in a tiny little square for that day. And then at the end of the year, I can just basically overlook all of the colors that I was feeling throughout the year, and I just think that's kind of a fun thing to do. This is a blank page. I just want to occasionally keep blank pages in here if I feel like putting a quote in there. Also, I want to note that it's really helpful, obviously if you have an index, you have to number the pages. This is my January memories page. I started this bullet journal in February this year because I kind of discovered them and decided to do them at that time. So instead of having a whole layout for January, I'm just having a memories page. This is the beginning of my February page. They have so many ideas on Pinterest for things you can do there. I'm going to write at the beginning, so I will have the title page, and then at the beginning of each month I want to write monthly goals, including YouTube uploads, exercise, writing, and reading. I just haven't really filled any of this out yet. I've spent a lot of time getting kind of the layout the way that I want it. So this was the first week that I filled out in my journal. As you can see, I was playing around with markers, didn't really like how thick that ended up, so I went to a thinner marker, and I am also using my keys, and I'm using a little color code here that says whether that task was work or home and family related, and then if I filled it all the way in, I completed it. So this is really, I'm trying to keep my days quite simple so that I don't overdo it. My son was sick on this day and is still a little bit sick, so we're kind of letting that just take precedence. He's more important than any of the other tasks right now, so I'm not really worried about getting a lot done. I have obviously one extra little square, so this is just kind of like the main goals for the week, and this helps me to remember what I think I should be spending most of my time on. So I once again penciled in the next couple of pages so that I could put those things in later. This is my expense tracker, so it's really simple, just the category and the amount, and then at the end of the month I will be able to see where we spent money. This way I can just keep close tabs on where the money is going. This is really critical for me because I'm not very good at that. Then I have penciled in a February memories, I just haven't put that in, and then the beginning of March. And that is so far all I have in my bullet journal. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you guys are bullet journaling or if you know of any YouTubers that you watch that do bullet journaling. I would love to get some more ideas. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.